Well, hello everyone and welcome to my 9th assembly. I've set the camera back a little bit further today to see if I can show you something a bit more physical. Okay, how you doing? How you bearing up? Good. Can you give me the double thumbs up? Thank you very much. So here we are. I hope you had a good half term. We're back. And we have children in the school. Well, in reception, year 1 and year 6, following government strategy, we have children back in the school and the children of some key workers as well. So we're up to 103 children. It's been a very strong response from Lochinver families, and there is laughter and animation in the school in a very contained and pod-like fashion. A bit different, but it's been great to start to open up again, step 1 of the journey. And I want to talk to you a little bit about steps in this assembly. So, first of all, let's see if I can just show you a picture. So this is a photograph that I have in my study, and it is something which goes right back to the year 1977 when I was a little boy at the school, and I'm there cutting a cake, an anniversary cake, the 30th anniversary of Lochinver many years ago, and I was 12 and I was head boy, and there's the head in the middle and one of the founding pupils who was also a father at the school, Mr. Hale, and his name was Richard Hale, I believe, and his son Martin was in my year group, or the year above anyway. And I kept my tie from all those years ago, and I cut off my lapel for some reason when I left the school, and I kept it in my man drawer all these years with badges. Not as many badges as you guys have these days, but ones that I cherished all the same. So that's me from all those years ago, and that's my pink tie. Something else I've been doing whilst I've been on playground duty, now that we have a number of children back in the school, because it's been so incredibly sunny, is to wear a hat to protect my head, which, unlike most of yours, is not covered in increasing amounts of bushy hair desperately needed of haircut. And I wear a hat, and of course it's pink in true Lochinver fashion. Now, something else that we've done today, or rather people more resourceful than I, is to open up a second-hand Lochinver uniform store. Of course, this has been run by the wonderful Madzi Tolman for many, many years, and through the initiative of a number of people, it's been opened up again, because do you know what? As children come back into school, they're growing, and they've grown, and sometimes the clothes don't fit. And why would you spend loads of money on an article of uniform for just the remaining weeks of the year, when you're probably going to add more growth over the summer and end up being even bigger and have to get more? So the second-hand uniform store is absolutely brilliant, and it's been running just in front of the school office, and it's under a little marquee outdoors, and it's possible for people to come and use the honesty box and to purchase whatever they need, whether it's shorts or shirt. It's a great idea. So if that helps you, if you're in one of the year groups where you need uniform and you'd like to choose something outdoors under the marquee, drop your donation in, please use that. Okay, now one of the things we've had to do throughout this whole process is to adapt and to change, and sometimes the challenge ahead has been enormous, but we've tackled it in steps, and we've learnt in steps, and sometimes when you have a complicated thing to do, that's what you can do, take it step at a time. So I wanted to share with you something that you might want to learn to do, as I think I still remember how to do, and that is how to juggle, because often life is about coping with lots of things happening at once, and it's rather like juggling. So I wanted to learn to juggle, and maybe I can still remember how to do it. This is a bit ambitious, but here we go. So I learned to juggle using my mum's fruit bowl, which she didn't really thank me for because it used to bruise the fruit and it used to cause chaos and carnage. So I'm not going to suggest that you use apples or oranges, as I did, but it's possible to do this with, well, I'm going to use lock-in for shirts. Here's one that I've bound up into a little ball, and I'm going to try and do the same thing with this shirt. Let's see what happens. And whilst I'm doing this, I would just say that you don't have to use lock-in for shirts. And I'm going to grab some sellotape here and see if I can do the deed. What's really good is to use socks, big woolly socks. Football socks are great, and what you can do is you can bind them into a tight ball, and then that way they're soft. They're soft. For juggling, you start off with one as you develop your skills, and then you build up, hopefully to 3, as I've done, and I'm sure some of you will be able to one day go on and do 4, as I can't. So let's see if we can bind this together. And the other thing I want to suggest to you is that when you're learning to juggle, you do it over your bed. And there are a couple of reasons for this. One is that when you drop your soft juggling items, as you surely will, you don't have to bend down so far to pick them up. They just landed on your bed, right there, and it's easy. And it also just contains the whole exercise, because you don't want to knock anything off any shelves, you don't want to cause any distress to your lovely parents. Okay, juggling, so here we go. So you start off with one item, but you're hopefully going to work up to 3. And the first thing to do is to throw it up in the air and catch it in one hand, like that. And you practice that a lot until you feel you can do it. When you're throwing it, you just want it to go up to about eye height, maybe the top of your head. You don't want to throw it miles in the air because it just makes it harder. So just nice, regular throws, one hand. That's step 1. Remember the whole theme of steps. The second step is to throw it from one hand to the other. Again, a nice even throw. I'm just going to move my chair a bit. And not too high, and also within a plane of movement. So not ahead of you, not behind you. You don't want to be running around. I'm trying to do this sitting down. It's not the best. I'd probably be better standing up. But okay, so you practice that left to right, right to left, and you do it loads, and try and get the throws even. Practice it loads and loads and loads, because we're building up our confidence in steps. Next step is to take 2. And you're going to throw 1 up in the air. It's going to go over that curve, and as soon as it's gone over the top of the hill and is coming down, you're going to throw the second one inside. So something like that, something like that. And you're going to keep practicing that until you feel you've got it nailed. Now, don't be in a rush to move from one step to the next. The other great thing about learning in stepwise processes is that if you move on a step a little bit too early and you're struggling, you can go back to the previous step, do some more practice, and then come again. So basically what you're doing is you are emptying the hand that's got to do the catching before it's ready to do it. So you throw 1, it goes up over the hill, and as it's just over the top and coming down, you throw inside with the second one. And what you're doing is you're emptying the catching hand, ready to catch. And once you've done that, lots of times you can think, am I ready to try the third? Next step. Okay, so now you start off with 2 in one hand, and actually, although you've got 3, you're only throwing 1 at a time. So you throw 1, you empty, 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 and away you go. And hopefully, you will find that the juggling has begun. Okay. Great. Now, I wanted to tell you about, good luck by the way with the juggling. Please don't cause any carnage in your house. Don't upset anybody. Over the top of your bed, woolly socks, bound into little tight bundles. Nobody gets hurt, nothing gets broken. And if you've got the determination enough to keep going through the steps, the juggling will get going. Good luck with that, and let me know how it's going. Over half term, I decided with my wife to go somewhere with a lot of space, where there would be nobody else. I'm not talking about one of those beaches where you've got millions of people jammed in together. I'm talking about an area of coastline that we knew because we'd lived there 19 years before. So we travelled to this area of coastline which has miles and miles and miles of empty shingle beach. And we found an empty beach and we spent a wonderful day there. And because it was so hot, we decided to go down into the sea. But the sea, at this time of year, despite the incredible heat, is very cold indeed. So I did go in, I did go under, but I didn't stay very long. And I was chatting to my wife because one of the things we did pre-lockdown is every Saturday we would go to a swimming pool and we would swim 1 mile. Yeah, 1 mile. Again, when we started that whole process, we just started with a couple of lengths, but we built up step by step by step until after quite a while we built up to doing 80 lengths of this small pool, which is 1 mile. Anyway, we've really missed it. We've missed the exercise, we've missed the liberation and the joy of being in the water and moving. And my wife said to me a dangerous thing, which is a kind of a challenge. Can't resist a challenge. She said, hey, we can't go swimming anymore, we really miss it. How about if we swam in the sea instead? But the sea's very cold. So she said, that's okay, what we could do is we could order wetsuits online. And then if the wetsuits arrived, and if we found that they fit us, which would be excellent, we could then get our goggles, we could get a brightly coloured swim hat, we could get one of those brightly coloured buoys that you inflate, tie around your waist and have trailing behind you so that you're very visible in the water, and we could try some open water swimming. And maybe we could swim 1 mile in the sea. Wow. Well, that's the challenge. I did say yes. We have ordered the wetsuits. I understand mine might be arriving today. And again, steps. The next step will be to see if it fits, to see if we've got all the kit, then choose a moment when we can go and find a lot of space and go into that wild water and maybe just try out the wetsuit, try out the buoy, try out the hat, try out the goggles, and maybe just swim, a little bit close to the shore, maybe for 10 minutes. But I don't know, could we possibly build up to doing 1 mile? If we don't make it to the sea, could we find a lake? I don't know, could we find a river? I don't know. But we're going to try. And I promise you, I will report back to you. So the theme of this assembly has been about steps. It's been about growing, because sometimes we keep growing and we need new challenges, new clothing, new wetsuits, and it's about taking things steady, 1 step at a time, and seeing if after, with a bit of determination, a number of steps, actually you've achieved something, you've come somewhere to a new place that you've not been before. I will report back to you, and I promise I will be honest about failures as well as successes. So good luck. If you fancy the juggling, be patient. It will not happen overnight, I promise you. It took me ages. But by building up 1 step at a time, you can make it. Good luck. Thumbs up.